Hello. Yeah, I guess it, it's working now. So, hello guys, Savan here. Welcome back to another live. So, today is the day 2 of Grow with JavaScript. In the last live, we started with the basics, what is JavaScript and all of that. And we moved further, we learned about the variables and for loop, not the for loop, if else loop, while loop, and all of that. So what today we'll be moving further. That was so basic, that the last live was so basic because this live is focused towards people who are just starting their journey in the programming or any of that sort. So yeah, I needed to give them some basic informations and what to do and what not to do and everything. Yeah. So today we'll be going further and we'll be going for the for loops and different type of for loops, functions, classes, and all of that. And then we'll also be going through some tough topics in JavaScript, such as we'll go through them and we'll learn about them later on. So we'll wait just for 5 minutes, 4 5 minutes, and let everybody join in, and then we'll be starting the live. I hope I'm audible and everything. And today the network issues and everything doesn't come up. I hope. Yeah, we'll be also going through the closure functions, ternary operators, and all of that. And yeah, if I forget anything or any topics, and if you know that I forgot this topic, then you can also mention it in my previous live sessions comment section, or you can also mention it down here in the live chat. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm here to teach and you are here to learn. So yeah, you can say anything you want. I hope I am audible. Yeah, people are coming and I will be starting in some few minutes. Never mind. Yeah, I guess now we should start the session in just 2 minutes. Let people join. Let me get the link and share it. some of my fans. So yeah, now let's start the session today, guys. We were just waiting for some people to come around because yeah, YouTube sometimes YouTube sends notifications late and all of that, so sometimes to bear with it. Let me open my project down here. Forgot the project name. I'll find it. And it was YouTube and yeah, JavaScript. That's what we are learning, right, guys? JavaScript. Yep. This one's the right one. And if you are in the live, say hi in the chats. It is good to, you have to be interactive for that. Let me zoom the fonts, otherwise people will be saying that not visible. And so in the last session, let's just sum up everything, wrap up everything fast what we did in the last session. So yeah, we just learned about the variables, how to declare the variables with the help of where keyword, let keyword. You can also do it with the help of const. What was the difference between all of that? Hey Dhruvin, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then yeah, that was that. And we declared there are in JavaScript there is no data type you have to, that you have to mention. So it works like if you mention a number integer here, the variable will be declared as an integer. If it is float, it will automatically declare it as a float. String, then string, boolean. So and yeah, these were some falsy values which returns 0 false. We also verified it with the help of if else loop. We checked the condition and then we verified that yeah, false values do return the false. It's a 0-1 game only anyways. And then we learned about console logging. There are different types. What were the different types of console log? Like first of all we saw about this double quotes thing, and then you can do the plus operator, which is also known as a if you are familiar with the programming languages, then it is a concatenation operator. Yeah, so it just concatenates the variable in between. You can also use a comma. Yeah, and the third one was the best one, which I like personally. It is the backtick ones. You just have to use this backticks, and even whenever you want to mention a variable, you can just use this dollar symbol, and inside of that you have to use this curly braces. It's just a simple, okay, no rocket science there. Let's just comment it out so it doesn't come at between. Then we learned about the various operators, plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, the float division ones, the power, and all of that. Yeah, so and we also learned about the shorthand operators, like if I don't want to do that, the variable equals to variable plus. If I want to add any value to my existing variable, then I don't have to go through fuzzy syntax. So yeah, and pardon for I'm just learning everything. You are learning programming. I'm getting better at English, and if I'm misspelling or not speaking any words perfectly, and you can use double asterisk as a power if you want to find power. We learned about the if else loop, if, and then in the bracket there is a condition else loop. Yeah, so that was so simple things. About the while loop, and I also told you you have to keep one thing in mind about the while loop, which is that you also anywhere anytime you use the while loop, do check it, like you have any one condition which comes false. Whenever your while loop is running, there must be one condition at which the while loop is getting false and it is stop executing. Okay, yeah, we just learned out that much because yesterday that last session was the basics one, and I had to explain the everything from ground scratch, and I wanted to make sure that everyone is understanding, and if you're new to programming, you are not just getting shocked and you do not fear the programming that it is so much hard and everything. I just wanted to know you guys that programming is so easy. If you show a little dedication, then anyone can do programming. Okay, you have seen in the news and all of that 5-year kid, 10-year kid is doing programming and all. So yeah, anyone can do. They do not have any extra special things, but they were dedicated from their childhood, and yeah, that's why they did it. And there's nothing like you have been late, you did not do it previously or anything like that. You can start at any point you want. Yeah. First of all, let me show you one more syntax of the if else loop, which you might be familiar with the help keyword ternary operator. So yeah, we'll be using that. It's simple, like if the inside of that here was the condition, and then the brackets, and then the else condition, and the brackets again. Okay, so what if I don't want to, I want to, let's say there is a condition one here, I just want to write a console log, let's say true, hello, anything like that. Let's copy this, and if the condition is false, then here it should be false hello. And I just want to write a one console log, and for that I have to write this 6 lines of code. It's not feasible, I don't want to do that. If you are okay with that, then continue, I don't mind, but yeah, I don't want to do that. So what I can do here is simply just mention the condition. Here you have to write, yeah, sorry for the typos, here you have to write the condition, then you have to use the question mark. Yeah, this is the syntax, I'm not creating up anything. And then here you have to write your logic, colon, then again the logic. Yeah, don't worry, I'll be explaining this what's going on here. The condition which you are writing here, okay, like let's say we have OPA, and let's just create another variables here. Let it's a ternary, so ternary A equals to 10, let ter A equals 20. Looks good. And here we can check the condition, like if ter A greater than B. This is my condition. Okay guys, if you want you can mention it inside of a curve bracket, doesn't matter. If you don't, doesn't matter, anything doesn't matter here. Let's remove this. Oh, let me just copy this. Why should I write it again? Reusability of code, that's the main thing. You are eventually you are gonna learn that. That's the best thing. Let me copy it once again here. Yeah, so yeah, now I'll be explaining. See, this is my condition. Okay, the condition which I was writing in the if else loop. Let's say here you are writing the condition, simple, that condition only you have to write here, then just do a question mark. It just simply it separates both, like everything on the left side of it, it's a condition. This is the condition, and these are some two things, in which the first one, which is this block of statement will be executed whenever this condition is true. It works like if this condition is true, then do this, else do this. You have to separate it with the help of a semicolon, not a semicolon, it's just a colon, sorry for that. Yeah, so condition, then the true. So if the condition is true, then what you want to execute, and if the condition is false, then you want to execute. Okay, simple that. Let me run my code. See, ternary A is not greater than B. That's the reason why it is doing so. Let's mention it as a less than sign. Run it again. See, true hello. So the condition is true now. So that was just that. And I guess if you want to, you can also wrap it up side of these brackets. It doesn't matter. But it will, I have a extension, so it will automatically remove that. But if you mention it in the brackets, it is okay. Okay, it is okay. If you want some good readability, like you are getting confused with this colon and all, then you can wrap it up inside of the curly braces. Yeah. If you want to use curly braces, then you have to return something. Okay. So that's the catch there. You have to return something. If else, if else. Yeah, there's one more thing, which is, let me check my S6 going perfect. And yeah, there's one more thing which I forgot. Let's say this: if see, if my this condition is true, here is my one condition. But what if, like, let's say this is, I'm creating a login functionality here. There are different type of logins available in my website. One is Google one, other one is Facebook. Yeah, this is a social authentication. One is my own website, like my personal database. If you are going with that, if you're trusting me and my database, it's good. Yeah, you should trust that, because of course all of the websites nowadays are saving the passwords in one-way hash formats. So you do not have to worry about that. None of them are storing your passwords in the simple text. Okay. So like, let's say if the I want to check condition, like if the first one, if the login is with Google, and here my condition will be Google. If there's any data in this Google, if user has done authentication with Google, then only there will be data with Google. Okay. And then if I want to check about Facebook also, then what I can do, else if Facebook, and if the Facebook one is true, then it will execute this. What I can do here is, if else now the last one is only remaining, the my website. Okay, so it will execute definitely. So these are if you want to use more than one if else loop. You can also do here nested loops. They are also great. Let me show you that. Like if inside of this I want to, if the authentication with the help of Google, and then I want to check other condition also, that with a credit card or debit card or any of that sort, any other condition, then I can mention it inside of here. And you can also do one more here, if else loop. So you can do any amount of if else and nested if else you want, but yeah, don't go with more than 2 or 3, and try to avoid nested loops as much as possible, because sometimes you might yourself get confused after writing those codes. Okay, so try to avoid that. And now let's move towards the for loop, simple for loop. So for loop, how basically it let me, it will confuse you. For loop simply works like for loop in every, if you have studied any other language, you might be familiar with that. So the first condition which it is executing is the initialization. here, semicolon, and here's the condition, and at last increment or decrement of the values. So let me make it clear. First of all, the for loop is whatever, like if you want to run a certain logic in your statements or anything in your code multiple times, like let's say I want to print my name 100 times. Yeah, in schools teacher were giving us an homework like write this chapter 100 times, but if you're a programmer you can do it just by doing it one time only. So here let's say I'm writing sub pixels and I want to print it 100 times. Yeah, this will be going on and on. So I'll be not copy pasting it for 100 times, of course. Let's skip 4 to 5. So you understand, right? Like if let me check. Yeah, everything, the live stream is working perfectly. That's my motivation. Yeah, there's no frame drop to better. So yeah, if you want to print anything, or if let's say any logic also you want to execute, it is not compulsory that you want to print anything how this many times. If you want to run any logic for numbers or certain number of times, yeah, for certain number of times, then you shouldn't be writing like this. Yeah, okay, so you shouldn't be writing 100 times this console log like this. Your code will be such a mess then. So what you can do here is you can use a for loop. What for loop will do for you is, instead of this curly braces, whatever you have written, like here let's say I have written console log srp pixels, okay, rp pixels, and initialization is from which point your loop should start. The loop in this simple for loop works like is, you have to give a certain starting point like the index point, like let's say 1, and then how many times you want to run it is the condition here, like at what condition this for loop should stop. Like initially I'm starting from 0, everything programming starts from 0, of course. So I was starting from 0 and then I want to run this loop 100 times, and I will here write the I. Yeah, first of all let me initialize the condition here. Let's declare a variable. You can also declare the variable inside, it doesn't matter, you can declare it anywhere you want, it's your choice. Here I'll be doing the initialization. I should be starting from 0. It is not compulsory guys to start it from 0, you can start it from anywhere, but yeah, if you start from 0, yeah, it makes sense for you guys also. Like if I start here, it started here from let's say 45. It is not compulsion that I can't start it from 45, but here in the condition then also I have to change that. So let's give it to 0, and the condition will be I less than 100. Keep in mind one thing, that here I'm not writing I less than or equals to. Why? Because the loop is starting from 0. If you start counting from 1 then till 100, you will get 100 numbers. Here you are starting from the 0, so if you write less than or equals to 100, then it will execute the loop from 0 1 2 3 4 up to 100, but we want to run the loop only till 0 to 99. Okay, so we'll not be writing the less than equals to, we'll just be writing the less than. Okay, and here is the increment or decrement. It is because as we are starting from the 0, so we have to do the here, we have to update and increment the counter I. Okay, this I is a variable, we are starting it from 0, and what we are checking the condition, that when it is less than 0, it when until and unless it is the i's value is less than 100, until then you should run this for loop, and after that you should stop. Okay, let's give it 10, so you can, yeah, we can see it in the console, otherwise 100 will be like going and going. Okay, so we'll keep it, let's say 5 only. So whenever the value of I is less than greater than 5 or greater than or equals to 5, then the loop will not execute. First of all, let's run this loop, it will make sense. See, the loop is running for 5 times. Okay, so it is starting from 0, then it is going to 1, and let's print the index here. Will be here. See, 0, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So this is what I'm creating. So first, as you can see here, the i's value is 0. The loop run for the first time, so that the I value is wrong, i's value is 1. Then the loop goes again upside, and then first a value of I. So it will make it 1. Then the i's value will be now 1. So here it is printing 1. And again it will increment the value of I. So it will check the condition that is 5. Yeah, it is true. So it will execute. Then it will increment. Then it will be 3. So it will check that is 3 less than 5. Yeah, it is less than 5. So it will execute again. And the increment again 4. 4 is less than 5. Yeah, so it will execute again. Then the I will be increment to 5. And now it will check the condition that is 5 less than 5. No, 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equals to 5. So this condition is false. Whenever the condition to the loop will be breakdown, it will not continue forward. Okay, so it will just execute for the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Okay, so write the same loop here is I equals to 5, and here I less than, I greater than will be 0. I'm starting from the upside, like let's say here initially what we are doing was 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now what we are doing is starting from the 5. You can also start from a 4, and then you have to write here equals to. Let's do that. It will be, yeah, here I'm starting from 4. So 4, 3, 2 and 1 and 0. Okay, so the loop is running for the 5 times. But yeah, keep in mind, don't here forget to write, because we are starting from the fourth number, so we have to reduce that value, not increase. If you are writing the I plus plus, then the value will be 4, 5, 6, and it will be running infinite loop. Okay, why? Because the condition is greater than or equals to 0. If you are adding anything to the 4, not a negative number, of course we are doing plus plus, so it will add just 1. So if you are adding anything to 4, it will always be greater than or equals to 0. Okay, so the loop is never gonna stop, and it will run to an infinite loop. If you want, yeah, I know you guys are into the infinite loops, so let me show you that. See, as you can see here, the loop is going to infinite, and you have to press Ctrl plus C to stop the infinite loop. And please don't try, if you don't have a good machine, do not even try this. Yeah, you will be facing problems. And why to do that? So simply keep in mind that you have to write here I minus minus. It's as simple as that. See, the for loop is learning from behind. The 4 is executing first, and 3, then 2 and 1 and 0. It's as simple as that. Now there are multiple ways to do this. As you know, every programming language there's many different ways to do, just say things. There are some different functionality available from the different schema types and all of that. So yeah, I forgot to introduce you with the arrays. Arrays is what? Array is let's suppose if you want to store some things, and then if that things are small, then what you will do, if you don't like let's say the buttons, shirt buttons you want to store, then you will not be storing that separately. Okay, like all of that buttons, if you store separately, you will be missing it, and it will be a lot of clutter to maintain all of them. And so what you will do, it you will keep all of those buttons into one box. Okay, and so whenever you want buttons, you will find that box, and inside of that box, yeah, it is easy to find buttons inside of the box instead of the whole house. It, of course, it makes sense. So array is a simple thing. If you want to store different variables or multiple values, just a second guys. Hello, hello, हाँ चालू है, हाँ मैं बाद में कर, sorry guys. So we are on the array part. So array, inside of array, suppose it as a bucket, it's a box, and inside of that you have to use this square brackets. Inside of that you can store any values. If you are coming from, if you have knowing any of the language previously, then you might, if you see C++, you might think that arrays can store similar data type of values only. But it's not the case with this JavaScript. Okay, and for the newbies, don't worry what I just spoke. It was for audience which already have learned any of the languages like C, C++. You don't have to worry, I'll be teaching everything. So let's say I want to store some values 2, 4, 6, 8. So these are the 4 values. Guys will say, yeah, you are just storing the same data type of values. These are all the numbers. It's not compulsion. You can also store a string, which is SRP, another string, which is pixels. Then you can also store a float values. Let's say 8.54. This is my SPI, CGPI, if you might say. And yeah, so save this, and here let's console log. Yeah, one important thing in C, C++, Java, you have to run a for loop to show all of the values in the array. Here you don't have to do that. You can just simply console log, save that. You can see here it is showing the displaying the whole array, all the values and everything. And yeah, it's you can also run the for loop, and there's no, let me write just the I no, write everything on the ground up. It's, trust me guys, in the initial days you do not you should not use those extensions and auto completion tools, because what it will do is you will be not remembering the whole syntax. If you are writing it again and again, then you will remember it, then you will see that what mistakes you are making. If you are using this extension, then you will just write the for loop, and the whole for loop will be written, and you will not know that inside of here, let me write that equals 0, then after the condition you have to mention a semicolon, not a colon or a comma. So this will be understood by you if you write the whole syntax by yourself and don't use the extensions or anything. So in the initial days, try to avoid that. Afterwards, of course, you have to use that, and you should be using that. Otherwise, you shouldn't be writing your code in Notepad++. Okay, seriously, guys, who writes your code in Notepad++? Don't do that. So yeah, let's declare the variable here. No, now I'll be showing you some different method. We'll be declaring the variable here itself. You can do that. It's, yeah, of course, it's not a compulsion to name the variable as I only. You can write any of the variable name you want. And yeah, if you guys have any doubts or anything, please do mention in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. I love interactions. So here in my condition, what I want to do is, here is my this array. I know that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 7 values are there. But what if the array is so big and I don't know how many values are there? And of course, I'll be not counting them all values. Then what you can do is write the array name, and there's one functionality provided by JavaScript, which is inbuilt provided by JavaScript, array, and then dot. Then there will be suggestions going on. If there is no suggestions, just write the length. Of course, you know the spelling of length, length, and write it like this. If you write this array.length, I guess there's no, let's skip that. Array.length, and what it will do is it will check the condition like the array length and the value 7 here. Okay, the length of the array is that how many elements are there, it will return that, and we have 7 elements, so we have to run the loop from 0 to 6 only, because yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, as I explained you earlier. So array.length will give you 7, so I less than 7, of course, and then here you have to write I plus plus in the, here what you can do is simply mention the brackets, the console log. Now what you have to whenever you want to access the value of arrays, you can simply write array. Like if you want to here, comment this out. If you want to access the values of array, what you can do is write the array name, then the square brackets. Then yeah, as I told you, everything in programming starts from 0. So the first value is not a 1, it's a 0. This is the first one, this is the 2 and 3. Okay, so if I want to access the 0th value, wrap it up inside of console log. Yeah, save that. Oh my god, sorry. Let me comment this out. For loop is I'm not taking this for loop, right? As you can see here, the 0th value in the array is 2. If I write 1 here, it will return me 4. If I write like 7, so there is a value of 0 to 6 only, because 7 elements are there and it is starting from 0. So 0 to 6, see, undefined, because there is no value in the 7th index. If you write any of the value here, there will be undefined because there's not value in it. So it's a so this is the way how you can access the elements of the array. So comment this, but what, see here I cannot here it is the for loop is running, so I want to get access to the values turn by turn, like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. What element in here is also getting incremental turn by turn. It is I. The I is getting incremented after 0 1 2. So here you can also write the I. Okay, so what it will do is, whenever the loop is running for the first time, the array of 0 will be executed, then array of 1, array of 2 3 4, and just like that. It's simple. So yeah, as you can see here, all the values are getting printed turn by turn. That's beautiful. And let's say if you don't want to do this, what you can do is write the array name. I prefer not to do that. And here let's write for in. Remove all of this. Yeah, here also you can declare a, doesn't matter, but I'll be using let key. Let's keep it as key, and here you have to write the array name, which is in our case array. Okay. And here let's first of all just console log the key, and then you will also yourself get the idea that what we are doing here. Got the idea? So what you are doing is the keyword remains same 4, but inside syntax just changes. You have to declare a variable, like here we are doing the I. You can also write here I, doesn't matter. And here you have to mention the variable name. We have turned here key because it is the index. Okay, see this loop is displaying you the index 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 turn by 10, all of the index. So in means let's remember it is a in for the index. Okay, the 0 1 2 3 4, these all numbers are known as index of the arrays. Index, if someone says you that what is at the third index of this array, so you will just check 0 2 and 3. It is at the index third position of the array. Okay, so in will give you access to all the index turn by turn. If you want the access of the elements turn by turn, what you can do is write the off here. Off, then it will give you access to all of the elements turn by turn. Okay, in for the index and off, simple. Okay, see both of them are getting executed. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, these are the index, and these are all the values. It's as simple as that. And now let's comment this out so it doesn't come up in our way. And then there's one more, which is array dot. for each. See, you will be getting many of the suggestions which are the methods available to you. If you are using VS Code, you will get all of these suggestions. See, you can see this plethora amount of methods available if you are declaring an array. Push is if you want to element to your array, then you can use push. Map will be studying this, and what we are going to study now is the for each loop. Is simply nothing but no, let's not study that right now because it will be using a function and we are not yet moved to the function part. We'll learn that afterwards, never mind. So array also we can do. So now directly let's jump to the function. After that I'll be showing you all of that methods because they uses a callback function, which you'll be getting idea after knowing about functions. It's just as simple as functions works, how the function works in all of the languages. Simple. You have to write the function keyword, the function name. In our case it's the demo. Here you can, which we'll be learning after this example. Here first of all let's just get a basic example. Is my function looks good. This is my function. So function keyword, then the function name, then you have to mention these curly brackets, then inside of these curly braces you can write your logic. As simple as that. And see, let me run this function and there will be nothing happen. See, as you can see here, there's no output. You might say that I have done this console log or anything. So how the JavaScript works is if until and unless you are not calling this function, it will not execute. It will be there, the function is there, but it will not be executed until and unless you are calling it. So how to call the functions? Write the function name, curly brackets. This curly brackets is simply the call. This is the name. Like let's say you are going to your phone directly and you are searching for a friend of yours to whom you want to call. You are just opening. In this, what it is doing is it is just opening and getting references. This is the person name I want to call, and this is the green button. Let's say this is the green button. You have to mention it to call. Simple function name and the curly brackets. So it will call the function. Let's just save that. See, console log is getting printed. This is my function. Okay. So that was a basic example. Now let's also run with parameters. So what is the parameters, you might say? Let's create one more function here. Let's comment this out. And yeah guys, if you want the code to mention in the comment section down below, I'll be adding all of those codes to my GitHub repo. If you are following along, I have also planned one more thing today. I'll be explaining it at the last of this session, that I'll be giving you some practicals to perform, and if you are successfully performing, then you can submit those practicals to my GitHub repo. I am going to create one repo. I have already created that repo, but in the later part of this live, I'll be walking you through that how to add your code to my GitHub repo. Okay, so you'll be also getting the knowledge of using the GitHub, how to get used to GitHub. You'll be getting used to GitHub, and it's essential part nowadays in the development world. You should be knowing GitHub. So yeah, I'll be walking to you through that also. I'll be back in just 2 minutes. Just wait guys. Yeah, I'm back, guys. So what we're doing, we just created one function, basic function right now, and now we'll move to some complex function. Simple. The function is addition, remarkable function in the programming world. And if you start a language, learning a language, you will be going through this. So here, let's just keep it blank as of right now. What I'll be doing here is, first of all, let's call this function here. And what I want to do here is I want to add the two numbers. So I'll be getting two numbers here, which is A and B. Where these numbers will come? This is the question. The parameters here simply means that whenever this function is getting called, parameters which he or she should function should be passing. And from wherever you are calling this function, pass both of these parameters. Okay. So it's just that, and here I have to pass the two parameters. So let's say I want to do addition of 10 and 5. Pass this, so it's 10 will be moving to the in place of the A, 5 will be moved to the place of B. And inside of this function, I'll be, if I print like let's say A, and it will print me the value A, which is 10. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to do the addition the 50, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to just console log my addition every now and then, because if I'm creating a website and this is the addition of the payment, I don't want to just display the amount to the customer and I don't want to get paid. So hey Vishwa, welcome to the live and thanks for joining and thanks for the wishes. I'll try my best. So yeah, what I can do here is function. If you want to return something, this is a console logging. It will just display the values. I don't want to do that. I want to return some values. Return the A plus B. Okay, simple. Don't understand? Just create one variable sum. The value of the sum will be equals to A plus B. Okay, value is A plus B. Looks good. And then you can return the variable sum. And so what's the catch here? See, if I execute this function, nothing will be done. But if I create a variable here, let value, first of all, let's keep it equals to 0, and then assign whatever the function is returning me, I want to store it inside of a function. Now this return sum is getting returned. Okay, so what it basically means is whenever you call this function, after the function is, it will return this value, and we want to store this return value inside of a variable. So this is the variable. It's a symbol that the sum will be stored inside of the value. Okay, yes, console the value. See, the value is getting printed, the 15. And yeah, that's the one way you can do that. Now other way, I also don't want to write that one line of code which is let sum equals to A plus B. What I can do, simply perform the addition in the return itself, and which is 15, in our case A plus B. As you can see here, it is returning absolutely correct value, so there's no problem there. And yeah, this way you can do that. If you here, why we are storing the value instead of a variable, because if we want to use this value, like let's say it's the cart total e-commerce website, and this is the total amount which is going to be paid for your products. Like if you purchase 2 or 3 or different kind of products, then the summation is here in the cart total. Then you want to charge this much or anything, you don't want to just print that value, you want to charge that, so you can use this variable any place you want. So I am not Otherwise what you can do is just console log, write a console log, and instead of this you can call the function. Let's say now I want to do 20 and 30. Let's just comment this out. No, let's skip that also. Never mind. So as you can see here, why it's giving me 0. Yeah, sorry, I just yeah, I see what's the error here was cart total. I'm assigning the value addition to the cart total value, but here I'm displaying what value is the value that variable. The variable of the value of this variable value is 0, so it is printing 0 here. Okay, so what you can do here is write just the value and run that again. Yeah, it's displaying correct output, which is this a plus b first 10 plus 5, and for the second one 50, which is 20 plus 30. Looks good. You can do it both way, never mind, nothing, no problem there. So yeah, that was the basic function. I want to show you different types of functions you can write in JavaScript. So the first one which we came through, fun1, we'll be naming our functions fun1 and all of that because of this is a function one type. And here let's say statements, like logic, not like code. It looks good. So this is the first pattern how you can define your function keyword, function name. Okay, let's just copy this, paste it down here. Now what I'll do, I'll declare one variable. The name of this variable is fun2. Instead of this variable, instead of storing some values like an integer or a string or anything like that, I don't want to do that. I want to store a function. So what to do? Add the function keyword and the brackets. Yeah, of course you have to pass these brackets because inside of this there will be parameters. If you don't accept the parameters, what's the use of functions? There are hardly some functions have some meaning. You are not also using the parameters. Confusing you, so don't listen to that crap. Sorry guys. So yeah, see, this is the second way. And yeah, instead of writing this simple code, let's just console log. Yeah, this is function 2 with this, paste it here. Why is it doing a comment? Remove the comment. I like comments. You should be writing comments, of course. And what's the third way? Yeah, copy this function, paste it down here. If you are lazy enough to write this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, yeah, 8 letters function keyword, if you are lazy that much also, remove this keyword, mention an arrow here. This is the legendary arrow functions in JavaScript. It is also, but yeah, as of right now, understand that this is a arrow function. Nothing too complex here. If you are the function keyword, just remove that function keyword and mention an arrow. But yeah, to keep in mind, the arrow is after these parameters, not before. You are removing function before the parameters, arrow is after the parameters. So that's the one thing to keep in mind. So let's just save this and function power conversion. Save this, try to run that, and yeah, I made a mistake. I was going to make a mistake here, which is I have not called these functions. Okay, so what I can do here is I can call it down here also. Otherwise, after each function I can call, but I'll be calling the here. All of my 3 functions are getting called. So as you can see, all of the functions are up and running. Function 1, function 2, and function 3. So all of this method works. Good to know that. And inside of here, what I'll do is let's return something, guys. Here I'll be returning a plus b. Here I'll be returning a minus b. I'll be returning a multiply by b. Looks good. And inside of this parameters also you have to write a comma b. It's not compulsory, okay guys, to write a. You can also write x y, but yeah, if you write xy here, then you have to write the xy here also, because the inside of this function you have access of these variables only. Until and unless you are just variables inside of this function, you do not have access to any other variables, okay. Rather than the global variables, yeah, in the further part after some functions and class gets over, we'll be also going through the scope and all of that, which is so much in the JavaScript and all of the programming language. It is important how the scope works, which variables are available to you in which scope. I will be going through all of that, so don't worry about that. Here let's say AB, here also AB, and what we can do here is just write the console. Yeah, I don't want to store everything in the different variables and blah blah blah. I don't want to go through that because I'm not doing any function here, right? I'm not using this values anywhere else, not creating a. That's why that was before I was just explaining you guys, because yeah, that's the approach you have to use and you should be using. This is not the approach you should be using, but yeah, right now I'm just teaching you guys so I can use that. I'm the sir, I can do that. I have the rights. Yeah, I'll be passing 10, 20 in all of these functions to make the consistency. So as you can see, 10 plus 20 is 30, 10 minus 20 is minus 10, and 10 into 20 is 200. Yeah, those values. So great. What we learned: three type of function declarations. The simple, the whole function with the help of the variables, arrow function one, great, and yeah. So now let's understand scopes. Yeah, that's something important. So for that, let me turn on my that colory line things. So yeah, I can draw things around and around, and you guys can understand better. I guess everything's fine. So hello guys, if you're watching, do mention a hi or anything in the comment section. We are studying from past 1 hour. It's been 11. If you're there in the live, please mention a hi or anything in the live chats. Truly, the connection is great. Coming, I guess. Why that's no data? Yes. Yeah, sorry. Because not data, because I was not doing it and then the screen was just. I guess you guys don't have doubts. For explaining scopes, let me create some functions here, the variables and all of that. Let Scope. Initially was Savan. Console log that log 1 function demo. No parameters. Console log 2. Use the scope. Now we'll be altering the values of scope here after the SRP pixels channel log 3. First of all, let me run the function here. And yeah, I not call the function, and that's the reason why it's yeah. So as you can see here, the first log which is here, it is printing Savan. The second log which is inside of this function, printing Savan. And the third log, it is printing SRP. So what is happening here is, whenever I'm doing, it is not aware of the function here. Whatever the function is there here and all of that, it is not aware of that. Okay, so let me write one more console log here. Oh, so copy that. Yes, the log 5. Yeah. Now first of all, let's run that. And can you see here the syntax of log 1 is running first, and 4 and 2 and 3 and 5. So it's the best example to understand the scopes right now, you guys. So how JavaScript, first of all, let's understand how JavaScript execution works. Okay, so JavaScript starts as the execution from the top. It's not like, say, like first of all it will include all the libraries, the header files, and after that it will find the main function and it will just execute the first main function first. JavaScript, it is not like that. It will start from the first line itself. You can see here we are moved. So first line, it will start the execution from this line itself. Okay, first line on the where move slowly it will move to the downside. Okay, like to the 111th line and all of that. What JavaScript will do is, that is a global scope. Let's understand it as a dictionary or the hard drive, or let's suppose it as a folder. There's one folder, there's not an actual folder. Let's suppose that there's one folder of JavaScript which is known as a global scope. Okay, so what it will do is, it will first of all run the whole file. If there's 100 here, there's 127 lines of code. It will first of all start from the top, and it will go through whole 1 to 127 file, lines of code. What it will do is, there is a variable, it will define it as undefined. It will not check for the values of the variable. Wherever there's a function, it will define the function. It will store in the global scope that yeah, there is some function here. It will not store all of the data, it will not run the function, but yeah, it will be available. The function definition will be stored, the variables will be undefined. Okay, let's console log the SEO here also. Let's write log 0. Of course, it's programming, so you can write log 0 here. See, cannot access SEO, the variable name, before initialization. So as I told you guys, the variables, the global scope of JavaScript will not store variables. It will reference. whenever there's a function like this, a function demo, try to execute this function up here. See, this is the string line where I'm declaring this function. If I try to run this function here, yeah, console log 2, yeah. So what's the catch is, I'll explain that to you afterwards. First of all, let me run one code without errors. See, as you can see here, the code is working fine. So I am what was the error there was, we were calling this function above. The function was getting called here, so what it will do, it will just go to this function definition, the function demo function, and it will start from this first line, which is console log and log2 SEO. But SEO, where we are defining this SEO, the SEO is getting defined after the call function 112th line. The let SEO is, so the global scope of JavaScript does not have a reference, like it is not having a memory that yeah, this there is some variable name SEO present. Only the function, the classes and all of that are only stored in the global scope, not the variables. Okay, so this SEO is not stored in the global. We are running the demo function here itself. So what it will do is, here it will directly move to this line. It will not execute this 112 15 line. From this point it will move directly to this function. Okay, and it will try to execute this, but the thing are not executed, so our variable is not declared yet. Just a variable, like if you are if you want to call Bill Gates, but if you don't have your senior contact number, yeah, call, it will give you an error. Yeah, of course, that you cannot call Bill Gates, you don't have the number. Of course you will not be having number. If you are watching my channel, then you of course might not be having. Can't say if in future I become so much great successful, then some of the people, even Bill Gates, might watch my channel. So what we can do is, if we write it downwards here, so first of all this line is getting executed, so the function declaration is done. Then what, then it is moving downwards to here, this log2 and all of that, and then it is okay. So yeah, that was that. Global scope of JavaScript does not store the values of variables, so you cannot access the variables before executing it. You can of course access all of those variables after the declaration, but in function it's not like that. Here is my function declaration, I can call this function before also. But as you saw here, the errors, how like the function definition also, if you think one line upside also, then also it will give errors. It is better to first of all declare your function, that function, and after that function declaration only, it will be less prone, their code will be less prone to bugs, the errors. This is a good code practice. It's not a compulsion, you can mention that function call upwards also, but you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, and so here, like let me run this. So first of all, the log1 is getting executed. Why? Because first of course this line will be running, so it's getting executed. Then this line, so the console log1, then what it will do, it will just store this function in the global scope of JavaScript. Okay, it will not execute this function, it will just store this function in the global scope function call, so it will not execute, and then it will move to the log4. So that's the reason why here there is log4 instead of 2 and 3, it's directly moving to 4, because the function is not getting called, so it will not just in the air run the function, and it is getting called. So what it will do, after getting this function is called, it will move to this part, and then it will execute 2 and 3. So as you can see here, the 2, and then this function is getting completed here, so it will come after this function is completed here. After here it will move directly 125th line, then on the 126th 6th line it will execute the log file. So I hope you guys have understood that. And yeah, there's one more catch. Variable declare function. See these brackets. So let's for your information understand, like every all is wrapped up in a curly braces like this. Okay, so whatever is inside of this curly braces have access to all of it. Like see this let SEO, this function demo is inside of this curly braces. Okay, SEO is also inside of this both curly brackets, and the variable function demo is also inside of this. So this function demo is a child of this. You get that? This is the big whole parent. This is a small part. So this is a child of all the properties of parents. That's the thing. If you are having an ice cream, then you can ask your parents, like, give me. Your parents cannot ask you that, give me your ice cream. Some parents might, but most of the parents don't. Your parents will never ask you, and they have no right to ice cream. But you can ask to give you their ice cream. So the SEO ice cream, the ice cream is with parents. Children can get access to the ice cream of parents, of course. Now let's put a variable here. Yeah, of course, is a child. So let's declare it's a child. Ice cream. It's a child ice cream, of course. And let me try to execute that here. Child variable. Try to execute. Yeah, it will give error. See, it's not defined. So the child variable is declared inside of these both brackets. Okay, here these both brackets. This variable is declared inside of these both brackets. Okay, any function or anything here, then I can get access to that. If there's a scope here, then instead of this I can get access. See, child, the color changed. So the light color is whenever this variable is nowhere in use. This variable is declared, but if not used anywhere, then it will be of light color. If I'm using that variable, see, the color has become dark. So yeah, the child have access in, because this is the child of this class. I hope you guys understand. It will take some time. Just practice, go through code again and again. You will understand this concept. This is the main every programming language, the scope, because this will give you error at some point only. Yeah, it will give you error at many of the points, but you will be facing these errors again and again. So you have to know that what's the error there. It's the error of scope. There is no saw here that we got the error of undefined, because we are using this console log child outside of these brackets. Okay, this function, this is the child this parent are asking for the child's ice cream. That's not possible. Will not be giving their ice cream to the parents. That's clear. That inside of this you can, of course you can, child can have its ice cream, guys. There's no problem in that. See, the ice cream is there, of course. So that was the whole concept of scope. Parents cannot have things of child can have access to the things of parents and also their grandparents also. Yeah, like let's say here I'm having a child, so this is a sub child, this is my child, and this function will be my parent, and this whole function will be my grandparent. Okay, so this child can now access to these functions, and this child can have access to ice cream of the grandparents also. Of course, your grandparents will be giving you their ice creams. Not only your parent also, they will, in fact, they will offer you from, like, they will come front and have my ice cream, son. Access to SEO. Here also you can get access to SEO. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I hope now the concept is clear to you guys. I'll be writing this code here only. I'll updating it to my GitHub repo. I'll mention my GitHub account in the description down below. If you guys are interested to have this code file, 127 line and all of the topics, and please mention in the live chat down below. Then then only I'll put this code to GitHub. Otherwise, if you are not interested, okay. And yeah, now what we can do here is let's handle the closure. I'm not gone through that classes, but we'll understand it afterwards. Never mind. First of all, let's understand that array things, that array methods we left off. Let's copy this array. So yeah, no, let's keep that. Come on, declare one more array here. One. Okay. So of course, so what we saw that methods were array dot map was one of the functions. So what will map will do is this is the parameters, and inside is not compulsory to pass on a variable or a value only. You can just write the whole function here. This is the beauty of JavaScript. You just write the function here. This is a arrow function I wrote. You can also write function and this, that. There's no error functions. It's no problem there, but yeah. See, in the function, what we take parameters. Let's say element and console log element here. I'll be explaining that what's going on here. Anything's not coming from the air. See, I've gone through the JavaScript documentation first. I know this function gives you and thing. See, it displays elements. What element consists is each and every element turn by turn. So what this map function does for you here is it will loop through the array turn by turn, and it will give you inside of this parameter. You can pass any name, doesn't matter. Element is not compulsory. You can only write e also, or you can also write data, anything you want. It's your choice, guys. This is just the parameter name. So it will give you access to the element on the every count. Okay, whenever you write this dot map, it will execute the whole loop for the array. After turn by turn, it will give you access to all the values. Okay, like first of all, it will give the 2, 6, then 8. So if you also want to perform any operations on these whole elements, then you can do that. Okay, like let's say here I'm just doing e. Here I have, so sorry, let's remove that, so we can perform the addition. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to just add 2 and then print that. See, all 2 is added to all of the values. Instead of this 2, it's printing 4 and 6, then 8 and 8 and 8.54. It's 10.54. See, so yeah, it's not just a console log and addition subtraction. You can do a whole lot of operations here. It's your choice. Simply the map function gives you access to each and every element turn by turn. You don't have to write that whole for loop or anything. You just have to write this much, and yeah, you're good to go. And there's one more method, which is filter. As you can see here, I also just remove this. So let's understand about the one more data type, which is objects. You can also declare objects. Let obj is a variable name. So what object is? If you want to declare object, use curly braces. Object is nothing but a key value pair. You have to pass one key, and then you have to give that key one value. Okay, so let's say my key is name here. Then you have to write a colon sign, and then here you can write name. You can do comma, then here you can do age, of course, saying my age. And it's not compulsory, you can only write strings. You can also write numbers here. Right now I'm 20, I'll be going 21 this May. See, so this is my object. Sorry guys, this is my object. See, this is simple as a key. This is the key name, then you have to use a colon sign, then the value. And if you want to mention another key value pair, then you can separate it with the help of a yeah. Oh, the audio stream is repeated, of course. Yeah, there's no problem there. And how to execute, how to get access to the values of the object. So what you can do is write just the name of the object, which is obj, a simple dot. It will show you most of the cases. If your laptop is slow, just wait for 2, then after it will appear. Key is available inside of your object here. In my case, it's the age and name both only. If I want to display the name, then I get to the name dot name, and let's do a console log of this. Console dot log. And yeah, as you can see here, my name is getting displayed, which is Savan. So whenever you get access to the object dot key, like the key is name here, then it will give you the value of key. Okay, not the key. It will display the value which is assigned with this particular key. If I'm doing a console log once more here, my age is, and here I'll be writing obj dot age. See, my age is here. It's also displaying the age. So yeah, it is displaying the value, and that's the way you access the values inside of the object. Of course, there's not the one way to do that. Instead of using the dot, you can use some syntax like this. You have to do a square brackets. Inside of that, you can mention the key, and keep in mind you have to mention the key with the help of this double quotes. Okay, let's first of all try to run that, and it runs. Code is right. So this is the second syntax. It's nothing, the object name, square, single quotes or double quotes, doesn't matter, the key name, which is in our case the name. Okay, so yeah, there are two ways to access the elements, key values inside of an object. If you write obj dot, and you are not getting access. I guess the push might work. If you want to push any key value pair to your object, existing object, then I guess this should be working. And what I can do, what I can print, yeah, channel was pixels. Let's hope that this works. I don't remember, of course guys, I don't remember it right now. Yeah, object.push is not a function. What you can do, just go to Google, how to push values in object in JavaScript, of course. Go to any website. These are some basic. This can be done by anyone. So of course. Yes, there's no way to do that. You have to declare an array for that. But yeah, how to change the values of the key values here. Change the value of name. I'll change my name, and what I can do here is I can just write my name to Patel. Yeah, start. Let me print that object. See that my name is changed now. So yeah, you can change the key value pairs like this. I guess you cannot add key value pair. Ah, never mind. Let me check. I guess it should be working. How to add a key value pair, but it's you have to go through the array. You can do everything, but uh, you have to change something. Okay. More thing that let's say here I wanna add. May I write it here downwards so it makes sense and looks good. It is not a compulsion that you only assign this type of values to your key value pairs. Like let's say I have one key demo. Here I want to assign a function. You can do that, but keep in mind that you don't have to mention the function name, because yeah, the function name will be the demo itself. You don't have here. Let's say I just console log function works. If I can write that correctly, function works. Okay, and now I'll be doing I'll be accessing that function because there's a console log there, so it will automatically execute. And yeah, as you can see, I'm calling the function. You can also if you're writing object.demo, just object.demo, it will not execute the function because you are finding the name of the person in their contact list. You are not pressing the green button. Without calling, you cannot talk. So yeah, if I am writing this bracket here, and then only I can execute the function. Okay, see, the function works, of course. Yeah, so we'll also move to the events in the next lectures. Today, I guess this should be all for today's session. Today we have done a lot of things. We have gone through arrays, objects, functions, and the best thing was of today was the what's say like scope. Yeah, the scope is great. You should understand that. That's the main thing. This all you can find on the Stack Overflow, of course. But that's the main logic part, or how you're thinking, how to debug is the main skill in programming. Okay, you should be knowing that what to Google stuff. You can find stuff on Google, but what to Google, that you have to figure out yourself. Okay, and today we have learned many things. So I'm just giving you guys an assignment, which is, let's say, create a function to create a Fibonacci series. You can Google what is Fibonacci series. It's not, but I should pass one literal like 10, so I should get 10 elements of the Fibonacci series. Okay, if I pass 20, then I should get the first 20 elements of the Fibonacci series. And the other function is Armstrong number. That one function, you can write any function name you guys want, I don't mind. But what this function should do is, let me write it to do here. So what your functions, the Armstrong should do is, it should take a parameter, like when we are doing it here in the addition function to parameters, and then your function should return a boolean value, that if the past para value, is this a Armstrong number or not. You can search for the logic of Armstrong number, that how it works. It's easy, it's not that tough, but you can Google that, and then yeah, try to make both of these programs. What this will do is, it will make your foundations, what we have learned till now. If you perform both of these practicals, you will get to know many things, you will face many problems, many bugs, and you will Google that stuff, find some answers on the Stack Overflow. Then you will go through the process of debugging and all of that, which is very essential in the programming. So yeah, do make sure, if you seriously want to learn this and learn JavaScript and want to follow my series, perform both of these practicals. And yeah, how to submit the solutions. As I told you, I have created one file. Like if you go to GitHub is nothing, just type GitHub browser, it will get you to the form. Go through that, and here you have to there will be, if you are not logged in or not have account, then you can create one account. Go to the search bar, just speak pixels here, suggestions here, and yeah, if you don't get, please move to the suggestions box again, and then if there's something like your username or anything will be written before this, sometimes it happens like that. So just remove that and again check once again for the search bar, that only SRP pixels is written in the search bar. Then do the search, then you will find two suggestions, or you can find many also, but you have to go through this YT live submissions, okay, because the YouTube live we are doing, and here this is the submissions. Then what you have to do is, you have to do to submit. This is not my account, my proper account from which I have created this is my second account. So I'll be just showing you live demonstration of how to hide your files, JavaScript. First of all, to work, and yeah, you will not getting any of this, you will be just getting your own ID. I have my company ID, so it is displaying me that. You have to fork that, add file, then upload files, because you will be uploading the files which are already in your let's say computer, and I want to add one of my file, which is, let's say, this index.js file. Let's say, yeah, this index.html. I want to add this index.html file. Select that file and choose for upload, click on that and wait for it, and here the green bar goes and their file name should be written down here. Then move downwards, here write the file name you have submitted, and also mention that Armstrong and Fibonacci function. And here in description, if you want, you can write that this is submission of your YouTube live sessions, and this is it contains Armstrong and Fibonacci functions. If you are having any difficulties, also some minute errors, then you can contact me on this comment section here, or the live chats, or any of that, or my Instagram handles and Twitter handles are also linked down in the description. You can ping me there and ask the doubts, and once it is finally done, then there are two choices. Right now you can just commit directly to the main branch. Never mind, I'll accept that. Then click on this commit changes, just wait for a few seconds, and yeah, this is done. Whenever this is done, you might be seeing one line here that this branch is one commit ahead of P71655 main. Okay, you should get something similar to this only. Then click on this pull request, click on it. Don't have to go through this, just click on this create pull request. Here if you want, you can write something if you want to. Here do mention your name or anything that from which I can identify your particular submission, and I appreciate your sincereness and everything. of course, and then afterwards just click on create pull request. So it's done, and here you should see a green symbol, and I'll be accepting your live that what you say the pull request, then your code will be displayed here itself. Okay, so yeah, if you are submitting the file, keep one thing in mind, that would be your name or anything like that, because if everyone submits the index.js file, then I cannot accept all of the index.js file only. It will create a clutter here. So yeah, keep your file name as your per name or anything like that, but keep it unique. Okay, so this was some basic how to submit your code to my repo. This will also make you introduced to the GitHub. You'll get familiar to the GitHub. GitHub is an amazing thing to explore. So yeah, try to do that. You can also do it with the CLI, but make you so much messy and everything for you. You guys will be afraid of that. So don't do that right now. Just go through this GUI feature. It will be amazing for you. So that's all for the today's session. I should wrap up right now. It's already been over 1.5 hours. So yeah, we should wrap it up now. So thank you guys for watching, and today's session I'll be also moving further in this tutorial, and the next tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. If you are watching from the future, yeah, you can watch it anytime you want, because all the lives are already done. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next live. Thank you.